So yeah, for our last keynote session, we have the pleasure of hearing from two Googlers. So we've got Mr. Anchit Nishant and Mr. Saurabh Rajpal. Anchit is a cloud architect at Google. He's got over a decade of experience in designing and implementing cloud solutions. His focus is on containers, serverless, and now generative AI. He's also passionate about making cloud accessible and impactful for businesses. Saurabh is going to be joining him in a couple of minutes. He's a web ecosystem consultant at Google. He's also worked at companies like Cisco, Expedia. He's been in various roles as an Android developer, backend developer, and also a cloud engineer. So he says he eats tech for breakfast, dances for lunch, but skips dinner because he's on intermittent fasting. So they'll be sharing insights on how developers can unleash the power of AI with Google. Let's give them a warm welcome. Good luck.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello. How are you guys doing? Exciting? Having fun? Excited for this talk? Do you know what I'm gonna talk about? Do not count how many times I'm gonna say AI, okay? So, again, about us, we are already introduced, so let's directly jump into the topic. But before going into the topic, I would like you to see what's coming up in near future from the very own Google. Excited? Shall we get started? Awesome. Can we have the video, please?
Okay, let's do some tests. Tell me when you see something that makes sound.
I see a speaker, which makes sound.
What is that part of the speaker called?
That is the tweeter. It produces high-frequency sounds.
Give me a creative alliteration about these.
Creative crayons color cheerfully. They certainly craft colorful creations.
What does that part of the code do?
This code defines encryption and decryption functions. It seems to use AES-CBC encryption to encode and decode data based on a key and an initialization vector, IV.
That's right. What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
What can I add here to make this system faster?
Adding a cache between the server and database could improve speed.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
All right, give me a band name for this duo.
Golden stripes.
Nice. Thanks, Gemini.
How was it? So, Google is working on this, and it's going to be available in near future, right? So, this is what the future is. Let's talk what we have as of today, okay? How many of you have seen this word, read about it, know what it is, tried it? All of you? Well, recently, maybe a week or two ago, Google launched the Gemini app for India. So it's available directly on your phone as an app. So what is Gemini? It's Google's very own LLM, right? But what is very different with Gemini? Let's dive in. Of course, we definitely unlock creativity, and since a lot of developers are here, a lot of content creators are here, this is very, very relevant to you, right? So let's see. You can go ahead, download the app, try it out. It'll, now, there is something very peculiar about it, which is the third part, right? You can upload a huge amount of context to Gemini. You can upload photos, videos, PDFs, whatever media data you have, and it can take in 2 million, it has a context video of 2 million, right? Now, this is the largest till now. We'll be coming up with more, of course. So, what are the things which you can do with such a huge context window? Give me, someone can give me an example? Think about the possible things which you can do. Entire code base, we'll come to that. Okay. Imagine you missed an episode, right, of your favorite show. You simply download the video, give it to Gemini, ask what happened, and then you are done. You don't have to watch the whole show. I mean, this is the power. You can actually give a context of at least 1 hour to Gemini. That's how powerful the big context window is. Apart from that, imagine you would want to talk about something very specific. For example, you want to have a chatbot which knows a lot about cooking. He would be, or she would be your cooking assistant, right? You can go ahead, in Gemini, there is something called as gems. You can create your own gem, giving it context what you want it to do, and it will be your travel assistant, or it can be your cooking assistant, or your coding buddy, whatever. Right? So, how cool is that? Let's dive into a bit more. Imagine, again, a lot of entrepreneurs here. Imagine you want to give these features to your clients. How would you do that? Gemini is, the Gemini app is directly to consumers, right? But we have something called as AI Studio, where you can go ahead, create an API key, use that API key in your application code, and interact with Gemini directly. This can be your next step, which you can give to your customers in your applications. When you are using Google Cloud, you go, there is a section called as Vertex AI. All of our AI components are there. You can go ahead, create solutions directly from Vertex AI, whether it is inferencing, whether it is LLM, whether it is image generation, whatever. How many of you over here use Gmail? That's it? Seriously? Okay, I'll repeat the question. How many of you over here use Gmail and the Google Workspace suite? Right? So this UI is very familiar to us, right? So imagine when you, okay, how many of you get added as CC'd in a very long email where you have no clue what's going on, and suddenly you are added. @Anchit, please help. You don't know what to do next. Not anymore. You can, so Gemini is directly integrated in the Workspace app, where you can go ahead, ask it to summarize the entire email. Ask who said what. Ask what is my action item. Things like this, right? Not just that. You can ask it to generate a reply for your email. Now, all of us use Google Sheets, right? It's always bad to see a blank sheet or a blank document. How do you start? Again, Gemini is directly integrated. You can ask it to create a skeleton of something. You can ask it to create a formula of a very complex column which you're going to build. Everything integrated. You don't even have to switch the apps. Isn't it cool? Let's make it cooler. What's common in these images? Can't hear you guys. Still can't hear you guys. Yes, all of these images are AI generated, which I did in less than 5 minutes. Right? And again, these seems like animated cartoonish, right? But you can definitely create human-like, hyper-realistic images as well, directly from Gemini. And if you want to give it to your customers, you go ahead. We have a service called as ImageGen, where you can use that APIs, put it in your applications, put it in your apps, and directly give it to your customers. Or all the content creators over here, please raise your hands. Imagine you want to create an image where you're not sure what aspect ratio it's going to come. Okay, sorry, before aspect ratio. Imagine if you have to create a background for your product, again, for e-commerce guys here, for a product, and you do not have time to go ahead, build it, do it in those complex applications. Simply go to Imagine, give the product, tell it, change the background, and it's going to do it for you. Now, this is where I was coming on to aspect ratio part. You can generate images in your most of the famous aspect ratios directly, and you do not have to edit it yourself. In case you would want to edit it, we have something called as in-painting and out-painting, where you can out-paint an image and generate the background with AI, or maybe remove your not-so-favorite person. So, again, this is for my developer friends here. You like development on your device? Yes? Again, I'm not against cloud IDs, but how many of you use the most famous one, which is here? Which one is this? So, we have direct integration with VS Code, something called as Gemini Code Assist, which can not just write code for you. It can write code, correct code, optimize. How many of you like creating test cases? Like creating test cases, awesome. There are a lot of people who like creating test cases, but again, those things can be automated here, creating test cases. If there is an error, explaining the error, knowing what code I wrote, and giving in-context answer to my code. This is all available in the Gemini Code Assist. Now, next I would call Saurabh.
Thank you so much, Anchit. Thank you so much for setting the tone and also letting us know what all is happening in the AI space and how Google Cloud is helping a lot of developers. All right, so hi people, how are you doing today? Chai nahi pi kya? Coffee pi. That should work out better, right? How are you guys doing today? Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. So, we just learned about how Google Cloud is helping in this space. And here comes me, who's going to talk about something which may resonate a bit more with a lot of people here because we all mostly are web developers, I'm guessing. Web developers? Web developers in the house. Cheers. Awesome, perfect. So, since I saw that you gave a lot of hooting and shouts during the video, I'm not going to miss out on playing another video to begin my talk with. So before that, can we please have the video? And then I'll come back.
Let's go.
That was fun, wasn't it? Like, it's amazing to see how we are living in the era where web is just evolving and getting better at it. Do you agree? Right? So we are in the Web 2 era. I don't know about any other iterations of it, but Web 2 is getting better and better. Agree? Perfect. So a lot of people who already have seen my presentations earlier, they walked up to me during the break and said, looking forward to the memes that you'll use in the presentation. So bad news for that. I don't have many memes today. Sorry to disappoint. But I do have something very interesting at the end of it, right? So a little surprise for you all. In case you want to be part of it, be attentive during my presentation. Thank you for putting your phones down. Thank you so much. Amazing. So let's look at what we have here in the space of web AI. Primarily, I think there is a lot of confusion when people think about web AI today. And I'll try and make it slightly simpler for you. Primarily, it's divided into two things. One is how you can bring your own AI to the web, and what's already gonna be available as a built-in element of it, right? So when we speak about bring your own AI, it doesn't mean that you are going to bring everything that you have built on your servers, like huge models and stuff like that, onto the web directly, because let's be honest, browsers may not be able to support that huge amount of data. And that's where I think we have to go slightly hybrid way, where we can slightly save some cost by making things local, by bringing some elements of it to the browser. And to enable that, what we already have today is WebAssembly, or WASM for short, which I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about all of these things very quickly in a while. And then we also have something like WebGPU, which also helps you do that. When you speak about built-in AI, you saw in the video, right, what all was possible. So I'm going to give you a little glimpse about that as well. But primarily, understand this. There are two ways you can bring AI to your web applications. One is by using WASM and WebGPU and more in this space, and then also using some of the things which are going to be available within the browser, right? So some of you may ask, why on device? I mean, if we can already do a lot of things remotely on server, why do we want to do things on device? Very simple, 6 reasons only. One is privacy. Let's be honest, a lot of us sometimes do feel skeptical about loading some of our sensitive data. Some of the agencies or the web creators here might be building websites which do need some privacy data, but I mean, you do struggle with the drop-offs happening because of it, right? So what if you could still enable something which is running completely locally and help those users? Offline, I mean, you're on the move, maybe inside a tunnel, the thing goes off, but things working offline, no worries. Latency, no to and fro cost. Cost, of course, if you're running things on the cloud or remotely, you do have some cost attached to it. Zero install experience, and then the reach and scale of web. I mean, let's be honest, when we have web, it's just a click away. You don't need to download anything, do anything. If it's running locally, it's completely safe, and you can use it. So coming to the WebGPU part, what is WebGPU? So imagine, in the previous, say, half a decade back, what we had on the browsers, we didn't have any capability where we could use the modern architecture or the modern fast-paced the phones or the laptops that you had, right? It was still leveraging CPU, right? While on the native application side, you could use some of those things. So that's exactly what WebGPU has solved for you. So imagine if I'm one of your users and I'm using a very high-end phone, you would be able to leverage the power of my phone to boost the application performance. That's what WebGPU is enabling for you. And this is just to give you a quick download of how many applications, libraries, frameworks are already using WebGPU to be faster. Just for example, let me talk about TensorFlow.js. Some of us may have used this, right? So TensorFlow.js actually saw a huge boost in their, so for example, they got 300% improvement for diffusion-based models. It's a huge model, and getting that kind of improvement just by using WebGPU is humongous. So a lot of people here who are working on LLMs, who want to do something on the website, they want to make it faster, you gotta use WebGPU to make sure that it's leveraging the power which is available on the platform. Many of the Google products already use this. So next time you're using Meets, you know how this is so seamless and so fast, right? Jumping onto the WASM. WASM is WebAssembly, and right now I'm talking in English, right? If I start speaking French and I start conversing with you, ma'am, there's high chance that you would need a translator friend, right? You don't know French, you know? No, right? Okay. I'm lucky, seriously. Cool. So you don't know French. If I talk to you in French, you would need a translator friend, right? And which is going to take slightly more time. He also doesn't help? No. He speaks? No, doesn't speak as well. Okay. So more latency, right? The point I'm trying to make here is, if you do something or write something which is directly understandable by the platform, right, it will be much faster if it doesn't need any kind of conversion in between. Go back to the college days. Remember we used to write code in C++, right? It was so fast. You know why? Because it is like directly computed into the machine level language. And this is what WASM helps you do. So performance part, we are clear of. Let's talk about the portability. All the major browsers today already support WASM, right? So you don't really have to be much bothered about if I use it, whether it will work across the browsers or not, right? And then the flexibility. In the ecosystem, there are all types of developers. People who are working on Dart, who are using Kotlin, using Swift. Now, all of these languages are providing a way for you to compile your code into WASM, which will run much faster. And I'm not just saying it, because we do have some early results which show that if you use the WASM compiled code, it runs 2x faster. Even it could be slightly lower or more, but then you get the point, right? So a lot of people here might be also working on libraries, right? Which can be used by a lot of developers and other websites. WASM has a huge collection of libraries. Some of these you may have already used. And just to give the context, there are way more than 1,500 NPM libraries which are already using WASM to be that fast, right? And if you're an application or a library developer, you can use this link and submit your library as well. Pretty interesting. How many of you actually work on open source, published libraries for the ecosystem? Wow, quite a lot of you. So definitely take a click of this. Keep in mind, build something with WASM and submit. We'll love to know what you build. Then coming to the on-device built-in. Now, this is the part which you saw in the video where there was a blog, right, which just showed how you could generate, say, a title, right? There could be use cases like, say, summarization and stuff. What if all those could be done locally? Like, going ahead, we would have, say, a model like Gemini Nano, which is one of the most efficient models right now, and concise in size, to be preloaded onto your app on the mobile itself. And what if the browser starts leveraging that and start exposing some APIs for the developers to use locally, right? There could be multiple use cases. And this is just a snapshot from the video itself, like how it helped generate a model. I, in fact, saw Wix has this option as well now. So maybe they're running things on the server. I'm not too sure. But a note for the team here. What if you could do these things locally and save some cost, bring some more elements to it, right? And if you do want to know what's happening in this space, you want to get early access to the APIs, which are going to be exposed using these, do sign up here. You will have access. So yeah. And one of the reasons why we do run these kind of early previews is to gather the ecosystem feedback. We want to learn what are the gaps. We want to know what are the issues you're facing when we're building this. So, just don't be part of it. Be part of the open source community contribution as well. Get back to us with your feedback. Okay, so this actually brings me end of what I wanted to cover technically. But remember, this is not about doing things on device or doing things on cloud. A better strategy is to definitely have few use cases which you can run on device because of the reasons I just mentioned, and use the things that I talked about. I talked about WASM, which basically helps you compile in the language which the machine understands directly, hence is faster. I talked about WebGPU, which helps you take leverage of the APIs or the power of the phone that you have, your users have. And I talked about the built-in on-device APIs as well, which will help you run some of the use cases. So it's more about on-device and cloud. Okay? Now comes the surprise part. You're going to be part of a music, like we'll do some jingle here. Are you ready for it? Up for it? Don't want to do it? Okay, cool. Cool. So can we have music? No music, guys. We need to do it ourselves. Okay, so what do we really need to do? You can get your cameras out if you really want to make. This is really going to be cool. I hope so. It lands well. So we have all heard the song "We Will Rock You." What do we do if we want to make music for this? More synchronously, though. Okay, 1, 2, 3, start. Continue this, okay? I'm just checking if I'm gonna get the music or not. Louder. Brilliant, I love this crowd. We love Web 2. Come on. We love Web 2. Having AI top of mind and trying hard to find a platform that helps you night and day. WhatsApp helps you win the race. WebGPU the pace. Now Chrome got you AI built into the page. Woo. We love Web 2. I'm in love with Web 2, baby. We love Web 2. Come on, sing it with me. We love Web 2. I'm in love with Web 2, baby. We love Web 2. Having AI top of mind and trying hard to find a platform that helps you night and day. Anchit, come back on the stage. You have to be faster. Yes. We got no outage. We are web dev bros, but cloud helps in many ways. Woo! We love cloud too. We love cloud. Ooh. Thank you. All right. Okay, one second. We have time. We can click a selfie. Anchit, come back. I know we are like delaying the lunch here, but all for good reasons, right? All right. Let's click a selfie. Come on, we can make some noise. Why? I was clicking a selfie, not a video. We'll do a video now. All right. Come on. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Yeah. We love Web 2. Bye.